All right. Good morning, class. Have you had a chance to look at the exam resources?
Yeah.
Great. I see a smaller class today, so we're gonna look at some of the questions from older exams related to the topics that we've discussed recently. There is not a lot left to be covered. I will have a short lecture on Tuesday, but we're gonna do exam prep today. I see the number is adding, so we'll see. I see about half of the class. Let's see. I have exam 2 from fall 2018. This is going to be in the zip folder of all the exams that has been shared with you. So I'm going to show a question, give you about a minute or two to think about it, and then we'll discuss together. And this is going to be the type of questions you will see on your exam. So just assume that this is the exam, try your best. And let me make it a little bigger so everybody sees. And I probably, so this is saying that exam, this first cut class diagram to the patient, dental procedure controller, office visit, procedure, and medical staff. Remember we talked about controllers, and we told you the controller could be about a group of actors, like a patient controller, or a group of related use cases. This one seems to be of the second type, a group of related use cases, the ones that care about the dental procedure, they have a controller called dental procedure controller. So it says, then complete the record dental procedure sequence diagram on the next page by adding messages AC. So look at this one here. A is a message going to patient, so that should be a method in patient. This is the key step, class. That should be a method in patient. B is a message sent to visit. So that should be a method in visit. And C, a message that's been sent to medical staff, that should be a message in a method in medical staff. So let's see if you can come up with good choices here based on what you see in the class diagram. And I don't know if I can make it more visible. Let's see if this one can move up. Yep. So that could help you a little more. See them together and pick methods. And I want to just show you the top part of this. This is patient, dental procedure controller, and the rest. So muting myself for a minute, giving you time to read the question again and give me your answer. Any ideas here from the class? Let me see. Yeah, we have half of you in here. I don't know what happened to the rest of the class. So, ideas here?
Would A be read?
A will be read. Okay, go ahead. See if you, in the patient class, you can find a method related. I have given you the methods. Which one of them is read, Ryan? Good start. Do you see the methods listed in patient class?
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. Would it be get patient info?
Exactly, perfect. So it's the logic is the same as you started with. So you're gonna see, is it C, R, U, or D, and then pick the related method that you see in the class diagram. Thank you. Next one, how about B? Anybody had a guess for B?
Would be right.
Who's talking?
Matt. B.
Matt. Is it right? B. Is it record dental procedure? Yes, it's right. Can you pick a related method that you see on the procedure?
Enter description.
Exactly. Oh no, in the visit. Yes, is it in the visit? Yep. So your math B.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Enter description. It's in office visit. Yes, I read it wrong. Last. Yes.
So did we decide it's right because it's enter description, and that's how we knew it was right?
Because right. So this is a record dental procedure. So it's a new visit. You eventually should be right. Yes. And for that, we need information to be entered. Yes, we're not viewing, we're writing eventually. Do you see the right here?
Yeah.
Because you're creating object in memory right now, the write will happen using the data access layer that are not shown here. Yes. Medical staff, C. Is it C, R, U, or D?
Is it read?
Yes. What would be the method? Let's see if I can. What would be? Only have one choice. Would that be useful?
Yeah, verify. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Verify medical staff. Yes. So that was harsh.
Yes.
Good. So what you did here, you said, am I creating a new thing? Am I reading? Am I updating? And then you go back to your design class diagram, you pick the related method in the destination object. So that's one question you did really well. This one is method 1, method 2. So go ahead, look at this one. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger and if that's helpful. So let's spend a minute on this. All right, method 1 or method 2? This is going to be one question on your exam, but you may see a different diagram for it.
Maybe method 2, yeah.
Let's see, is that, I knew who that one. All right. Method 2, why?
Because it goes to the DA after it reads the object. Or like it goes to household and then it goes to the household DA.
So which method is this one?
Method 2.
It's method 1 actually.
Oh, is it?
So you know how to read it. Yes, it creates an object, an empty object, and then reads the information. This one is method 1. When you create the object first, that's method 1. When you talk to the DA first,
Oh, yeah.
so that one is easy to address. Just put a note on your cheat card so you know which one is 1, which one is 2. But you are able to read that, and that's great. Who was that? I didn't get that.
That was Riley.
Yes, good. All right, so let's see what this one is saying. Oh, this is navigation visibility. I think most of you tried really hard to understand and make this work for your GC3, but I believe if it's still confusing. So it says examine this domain model class diagram. So it gives you one-to-many associations, and it gives you inheritance hierarchies, and show navigation visibility links on this one. So I have given you patient controller, patient, message, alert, and observation. So I don't know if you would remember, or maybe I should make the picture a little smaller for both, because you really need to see both of them. All right, see if you can give a look at these and give me navigation visibility links. To the extent that you can, by looking at this domain model class diagram, remembering that if you have a one-to-many association, it goes from one side to many sides. Then if you have mandatory and optional association, it goes from the optional side to the mandatory. So mandatory versus optional is that part that has 0 dot dot star, that's optional. If it says 1 dot dot star, that's mandatory. Or 0 dot dot 1, optional, 1 and only 1, mandatory. So see if you can give me navigation visibility links. Use any other background knowledge that you have about navigation visibility links. Let's think about this for a minute. The objects down here are message, alert, and glucose observation. All right, anybody wants to start talking about the navigation visibility links and their direction? The class is getting a little larger, so I think we have about 2/3 of students in class now. Yep, 2/3. Oh. Excuse me. All right, who wants to go? Try it. I'm gonna start drawing.
Did you say it's mandatory to optional, right?
Mhm.
So patient would go to observation, right?
Could go. Can you? That's a good logic, but
Or are you trying to find like how we get there from the whole way?
exactly. Can you make it with the fewest number of connections? So what do you feel? I can do that. So I haven't give you a lot of information about this background. But so you're saying patient to observation because patient is more independent, observation is less independent. This one is the one that doesn't need this one needs that. So because I haven't given you any other background information, in fact, on the exam, if you gave me that, that works. Let's just stay with that. Then you know that most of you have noticed that, and even you haven't noticed, think about how you did controller. Controller usually has access to one of your domain layer objects. If there is one here, could be patient, and then patient get us to glucose observation. Anybody wants to think about observation and alert or message? Look how they work. Alert is here. Observation doesn't need an alert, but alert needs an observation. So this one, or alert, it would be bidirectional, and alert could be producing a message. This is one way of doing that. Now on the exam, if you gave me this one, some of the students have done it in the past. And this one, the extra ones, I accept it from you. This one is logical, but because that is not a good design because you have a high degree of coupling, but still it works. But if you give me all of the links bidirectional, that's not going to work because then I know you haven't thought about the question or you don't know the logic that leads to a choice of these links going one direction or the other. This works based on the information you have. So we started with Kyle. Was it Kyle who suggested?
Yeah.
So Kyle said patient to glucose observation, then observation would create an alert, alert would create a message that all will be sent to somebody, and that is probably the medical person, but or the cell phone, but we don't have it here. And the controller goes to one of your domain layer object. In the past, I've seen a student give me links like this. From controller to, let's say this one, or one of the other domain layer objects. Again, that's not a good design, but it's not wrong. It just gives you a highly coupled group of objects. So let's see which question this one asks. Oh, this is interesting. All different types of questions about sequence diagram and class diagrams, I think, have been covered in this one exam. Because this one is asking you to read the sequence diagram and add navigation visibility here. The only difference is that, or trick is that this is calling this online card and card item and so on. This is working with sale, which is associated with online card, and sale item. So just don't let that confuse you. Assume that this is on a card and this is card item. And I think everything else is the same. These three are the same. Controller and customer are the transaction. It would be the one that keeps track of your payment methods. So read these once, and when you look at when you look at a message going from one object to another, that's navigation visibility. So this is the method you're going to use. You're going to see here a customer is sending a message to online card. So customer has navigation visibility to online card. In this case, I have given you sale instead of card. So the customer would have navigation visibility to sale. Now you go up here, card has navigation visibility to card item. Same thing here, sale to sale items. So I'm gonna draw the first few and then I'll let you read the sequence diagram, follow the same steps and give me a few more. First of all, the controller here talks to customer, one of your objects, and customer seems to be key. Customer to sale, because customer is more independent, sales are associated with customer. Sale has a bunch of sale items, so sale is more, it's the whole, sale items are the part, and this is the transaction associated with the sale, keeps track of the money, and so on. So let's, excuse me, let's see if you can give me 3 more, I think, and focus on the right side of your sequence diagram. 1 minute. Okay, anybody wants to give us 3 other links? So look at here, card item talks to promotional offering. See, the link goes from card item to promo offering. It goes from card item to product item. It goes from card item to inventory item. So replace that card item with sale item. Let me call your names so to make sure everybody is using their time. Casey, I think you can do this.
Yeah, what's the question? Like
Navigation visibility links, tell me where they go from, where to.
from sale item to promo offering,
Exactly. Then,
sale item to product item,
exactly. And last one.
sale item to inventory item.
Perfect. So this is the full minimal design. So we don't have, this is a good design, low degree of coupling. And this is how we connected things. If on the exam I ask you for navigation visibility links, let's say 2, 4, 7 possible, I ask you for 4 of them. I look if you gave me the correct ones and the correct directions. Sometimes something that you give me makes sense, but it's not good design. For example, if you give me this one, could work, but you don't need it. So you get partial credit or full credit depending on what else you have given me. But this one also could be there. It's just that gives you highly coupled design. Sometimes something that you give me is wrong. So sale item to sale, it's just wrong. Sale transaction, because this one is the more independent. So you can think about the problem, think about all these methods that you see, where they go from, the source and the destination, and then connect those on the sequence diagram. This is one way of doing navigation visibility links. I give you sequence diagram, I ask you for navigation visibility links. Excuse me. The other way was to give you the domain model class diagram, ask you for navigation visibility links. This one gives you more information to work with. This is really requires some drawing, so I'll let you work on this at home. This is fall 2018 question. Okay, system sequence diagram is not on your exam, so this is because you covered system sequence diagram in your exam 1. So I'm gonna close this one and open another year's exam. So let's go to, this is all in your zip folder. So my older exam questions are not secret. All of them are available to you in that zip folder. And diagrams that you see on them from time to time, they repeat themselves. So look at those. Let's see, what's the latest? Spring 2019, exam 2. Let's see what new ideas we have here, if we can find them. Excuse me. Okay, constant coughing. You don't have normalization. That's going to happen in your exam 3 if you choose to take it. If not, good for you. This one we haven't talked about yet. We're going to talk about on Tuesday. This one, is this different from the one we did see? Yes, it's different. So that one was insurance and household VA. So let's do method 1 or method 2 here on this question. I'll give you a minute. All right, Marty, do you want to go tell us if this is method 1 or method 2?
Sorry, you're cutting out. Can you repeat that? I can't really hear you.
Method 1 or method 2, or you can read the question. Was it is it possible?
One?
Method 1, yes, because it goes to the it creates the object first. So it goes to the domain layer object first to create an instance, and then that instance reads using the data access layer object. Yes, that's method 1. Just make sure you explain it. This is from the time we were coding, so I'm not sure if I can ask you the question of this type. This specific one I cannot ask you because I can't depend on your, I don't know, some of you I think will take 170 instead of 168. So because I haven't taught you the programming, I can't ask you. But this one, this question I can ask you because it's a little bit not too detailed in terms of coding. So it just compares two different ways of doing the same thing, which is easy to understand without even knowing how to code in that specific language. So this one is again navigation visibility link, very similar to the one we just saw. So you can imagine, see the question just appeared on two semesters, spring 2009 and fall 2018. So if you look at a few of my older exams, it's gonna help you a lot. This one is saying, look at this and give me A and B and C here. Is it able to receive? Yes. So I'm just going to give you some ideas. A is a message. I'm sorry, I have to close my, whenever that's open, I don't know even. That's open somewhere. I don't see it. So I can't do anything. Oh, I see it here. All right, I'm sorry, I just closed my email so we don't see here the notifications. So A is a message sent to the online card. So that's gonna be the same method Ryan and some of your classmates, Matt B and Harsh, used earlier in the other exam. They said, is it C, R, U, or D? And then looked at the first cut design class diagram, picked the related method. So A is going to online card. Let's see, do we have? Yes, we have methods here, which is not online card, it's sale, but we can use the same idea there. So A, is it C, R, U, or D? Here, and give me a method. Just make up a method if you don't want to look at the source code design class type.
It's going to create.
Yes, so give us an example. Give us a method.
Add item to cart.
What?
Add item to cart.
Add item to cart would
Oh, that would be an update, not really create.
yes, but in the original example for this specific one, add item to cart was the message that was sent from handler to the cart. So it works. But if the cart doesn't exist, it will be created. That's the thing. If it's the
Okay,
first
so
time.
create cart would be a method.
Yes, so you can say create card or add item to cart. Both of them will create the card if this is the first time.
Okay.
So B is from card item to promotional offering. Is that C, R, U, or D? Tyler?
It's going to be a read.
So give me an example of a method. Just you can
Getting
say
the price, maybe.
Getting the price or read promotional offering. Any of those you give me will work. So let's see if this one has get price. Yes, get price, get promotional offering. Any of that you would say it works. You get ideas from the first cut design class diagram, and you can use methods there, but you can also create your own methods if they make sense. You get points. Inventory item, is it C, R, U, or D, Dylan? Dylan S.
I think that it would be R.
See, exactly. Give me an example of a method.
View inventory item description.
Exactly. View description. Here they have get description. Any of those methods you give me works. This one is done. I have a question in the chat. When would it be bidirectional? Can you think about a scenario when this item needs some information from the other and the other one calls method of this? It shouldn't happen too often, but it can. So I'm closing this one. From the diagrams I've shown you, I haven't seen a need for the items to call methods of each other. But sometimes that's done for performance purposes. So like if I'm an order and you're a customer, you have navigation visibility to me because you're the customer, you own me. Also for me to get back to you and read information from your account, that makes it easier for me to call your method. So that could be bi-directional, usually for performance. This was, let me see if I have better question in exam 3 of the same year. Usually the exams get a little bit more tricky for the third time. Let me see if I can find anything useful here to show you from exam 3, final exam. Oh, yep, maybe, let's see. Yeah, different diagrams, that's always helpful. This is final exam. Feel free to do the same when you're home. Because some of the final exam is cumulative, so it covers both parts from exam 1 and exam 2. You can ignore the parts from exam 1, work on the ones from exam 2. I think this one I liked. Examine the following design class diagram, also the sequence diagram for returned books that is shown on the next page. So the pages and their orders don't show up as you would want them to here. I guess this was supposed to be there. So and this is another question in between because I wanted to use the space. But here it says examine the design class diagram and the sequence diagram and give us some methods. See, I need a method for checkout handler. I'm gonna write that for you so then I can give you hints when you look at the sequence diagram. Checkout handler, book title, AB, book copy, loan, and loan item. So you have 5 methods you need to come up with. But what's your source other than your brain, which you can use and come up with methods? So there is nothing wrong. If you think and give me a method signature based on what you know about this domain. So you can absolutely do that. But I also give you the sequence diagram that helps you see some methods. So I'm gonna stay on this sequence diagram and remind you the methods you're looking for. You're looking for a method for checkout handler, looking for a method for book title, you're looking for a method for book copy, and for loan item. So look at these flows of activities and the arrows. Remember, when they go from source to destination, the label of the message is a method in the destination. So that's a piece of information. Again, if you wanted to come up with some methods based on how the information you have about specific library or the work you've done with the insurance, so the domain of the problem, that's completely okay. So I'm going to give you a minute. Okay, anybody wants to give me a method for checkout handler? Let me call your name. So Dylan has talked, Marty has talked, Ryan has volunteered, Tristan, give me a method for checkout handler as you see here. Are you with us? You hear me? Let's see if there is a note in the chat. No. All right, Tristan not here. Harrison?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Right here for checkout handler, it has begin book return and return book.
Exactly. So just keep one of them. Begin book return. That's the method you can add to the box that I have for you here. So this is gonna be begin book return, A. B is a method in book title, Nick F. What could that be?
It'd be get book title.
Get
Or-
book title. Yes, that's the method.
Okay.
So B is get book title, get BT they call it, or you can say get book title. Both of them will work as long as it's a method in book title. Yes. The diagram says get BT or get book title. Jesus, give me a method that's C for book copy. Are you here, Jesus? All right, let's go to Caitlin. Give me a method for book copy.
Create book?
Exactly. The one you see here is create book copy, not book, create book copy. So make sure your methods, if there are constructors or getters, setters, you talk about that, the specific object, create book copy. So how about D? Give me a method for loan. Kyle has already talked. Riley has talked. Jacob S.
Did you say for loan?
Yes.
Get loan item.
That's loan item. Where's the get loan item? Does it go to loan?
Oh no, that's the database.
That's actually you don't have loan here. So come up with a method for loan. So get loan item, you just said that's gonna work for E. And then give me a method for loan based on what you know. It's not here. Or somewhere down here. Yeah, it's here. Look at it.
Create loan.
Is it creating here? So it's not creating here. But you know, if you creating loan, yeah, it's creating. Create loan with info, yep. So all you needed to do is to read this sequence diagram or use your own background information. So if you give me exact method like the ones you see here or variations of this that are logical and belong to those classes, it should work. So good job, all of you. So just taking notes here on your participation. Perfect. So let's see if I have another good question. This one we did in class together, so I Imagine you remember. If not, look at it again. This is again the code. I'm not sure if I can expect you to know that. So let's see which one this one is saying. On the right, you see a domain class diagram for the ticket processing system. Think about the classes that should be responsible for collaborating with other classes. So it asks you to create a first cut design class diagram. Practice doing that. This is a drawing practice. So I think you can do that at home. You are supposed to come up with a method for each class. So you've done that in your GC3. And add navigation visibility links, and the use case is record traffic ticket. Do you think you want to do it with me, or you can do it at home? It's up to you. I think based on what we've done so far, you can do it. It's a drawing activity. Usually exam 3, they ask you to do a little bit more because the exams are longer. In the old world before COVID, we had 2 hours and some for final exam during the finals week. So that's why we get more questions and longer exercises. So this was spring 2019. I'm gonna go to spring 2018. And maybe I open their exam 3 first, because I feel like exam 3s, they give me more questions that spring 2019, no 18. So let me show you that one. All of a sudden I closed it. I opened it, I closed it. So here, let me share and we look at this together, and then we'll decide if we want to do it. If it has any new diagrams for us that could challenge us today, or is it just very similar to what we've done so far. So exam 3, sharing. All right, so this is the chat. Let's see. This one we just talked about. I think association classes are part of your exam 1, so you wouldn't be asked these questions. All right, so I'm trying to make this screen a little bit bigger. Let's see. Normal forms are not there. Wow, this was short exam. Oh, this is all. This is not useful. So let me open another one. I don't see the kind of question I want to use to challenge you. Let me share a new one. That's exam 2. And let's see. Do you see the exam 2 on my screen? I think you see now. This is this is new. A similar question we just talked about. This is a different diagram, but same question. So I told you when it comes to navigation visibility, 2 types of questions. One, I give you the domain model. I asked you for the navigation visibility link. The other one, I give you sequence diagram. Then I asked you for navigation visibility links. So this is the first one. Look at the domain model class diagram, give me navigation visibility links. And because this is small enough that fits into the screen and you can see it, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. And then I would ask someone to actually draw the links, or let me draw the links for them. But so let's spend 2 minutes on this. Anybody wants to volunteer and talk about this, or would you want me to call the next classmates on the list? Let's see. Nick L, do you want to go and talk about this? Do you want to go ahead and talk about this? No? Matt B has already talked. Robert H, would you want to go ahead?
Okay. I know that the relation between listing and real estate agent is that real estate agent will have to have view of listing.
Exactly.
Real estate agent, real estate officer, would that be bidirectional because they're both mandatory?
You could, yeah, you could do bidirectional or you could do unidirectional. Yes, let me just put that bidirectional. So that question that we received earlier is answer 2.
And would controller have visibility on real estate office?
Exactly. This is good. This is acceptable, full credit here. But if some of you gave me this one, let me make that, this one is not good design, but I would give you credit. Because when you have controller talks to their agents, that's enough. This is giving you high degree of coupling. Also, if you did this one only unidirectional, that would also work. So good job, Robert. You did really well. So these two also would work. But from listing to real estate agent, if you give me that, I know that probably you haven't studied navigation visibility. So some of the things that you give me, not good design, but acceptable, some of them are just wrong. So be careful. If you look at a few examples and practice, you should be fine. This one we just looked at. So this is spring 2018. The same question was in spring 2019. So you can imagine that I don't have too many of these diagrams. So I use and reuse. This one again was there. We talked about it already. Let's see if this one, the normal forms, we haven't talked about that yet. Let's, it's talking about AC. Oh, it's not the same thing. So we just did that. All right, very similar. So this one was easy. And that's the feeling I like you to have when we are on your exam sessions. You look at the question and say, oh, I've seen similar to that, or I've seen exactly the same. Very, very similar in the past. So spring 2019, I'm gonna move to fall 2016. And I'm gonna share a screen with you, and you and I together will examine the questions, and then we decide if we want to work on any of them. All right, this is the screen with the questions, and just making them bigger. Perfect. So let's see if we have any questions that's challenging us. Oh, this is the opposite of the other one. So just a few minutes ago, I asked you to read the sequence diagram and give me methods for what? Checkout handler, book title, book copy, loan, and loan item. This is the opposite of that. So I don't know if you want to spend time on all of them, but let's just tell you how it works here. So you have a series of methods in here. In each of these classes, you can use the exact same or come up with something that makes sense for the sequence diagram. So what was ABC? Oh, okay, the boxes disappeared. So there were some boxes here that were empty, and I think I make them disappear. And you were supposed to add methods, but this is very similar to what we did, just the opposite. So you read you read the design class diagram, you put the methods on the sequence diagram based on CRUD logic, or you can just get exact methods that you see here. So this one, very similar to what we just discussed. I'm gonna open another one, share. Let's see who is chatting. Is chapter 3 going to be on the exam? What is chapter 13? Can you remind me?
It was posted as a quiz. Due the 15th. I was just wondering.
See, if there is a practice test for you, okay? If there is any question on the practice test, it might be asked on the exam. I think chapter 13 is part of it. But usually I scan the questions when I put them on your exam. If it's very far from what we've discussed, I don't include them. But you know that I expect you to do things that I don't necessarily talk about in class. A lot of terms that I don't talk about. The things we do in class are the doing parts, the hands-on, the working. And there are lots of concepts behind them that are covered in the chapters that may appear on the practice test, and I haven't talked about them. So I think it's officially on your exam. Look at the practice test. If the questions are tricky, let me know. But the normal forms, if you see any question about normal forms, that's for sure not on your exam, because this is not something we have done. I think this question is new. We had a version of it, but I skipped that because that was a drawing question. This one is not drawing. I have given you the class diagram. I asked you for navigation visibility link. So go ahead, read the question and see if you can give me the links. A minute here. This person, I think Jacob K is the last person who hasn't talked. All right, I'm gonna give you a minute for this. Okay, class, who can give me the direction of the visibility link here, the link between controller and officer? What direction should it go? From controller to office, or from officer, or vice versa?
From ticket to controller to officer.
Who was that?
Me, Jacob K.
Oh, perfect, Jacob K. So from controller to officer, you gave me the first one. Let's just put the first one, and I think if I just remove that, that's the first one. Yes, usually goes from controller to domain layer objects, and you gave me the first one. Perfect. So everybody has talked already with Jacob K answering this last question. Let's see if some of you were not answering. So one with Jesus, you didn't answer last time I asked you a question. Are you here now? No. Tristan, are you able to answer? Give me the direction for the controller to ticket.
He typed in chat.
Good. Controller to ticket, perfect. So that's good. Let me just remove that. Okay. Am I not here? Perfect. So Tristan has already answered the question. And it's only Jesus right now who I haven't heard from. Anybody wants to volunteer and give me controller to driver? I think that should be easy based on the two answers that we've received so far. It goes from the controller to the driver. So if I ask you something like this, which I don't think I have asked in the recent years, giving you the links and asking you for direction. Usually I ask you to just give me the links and directions yourself. So this is a good answer. But anybody else wants to add any other navigation visibilities that are not shown here yet? No? Let's see. Anything else you see? So there is a court and ticket. Which way does it go? Or maybe driver to ticket. And I should pick the right arrows because this one is inheritance hierarchy in UML. But I'm working with Word, so let me, how did I change the arrow type? Is it a quick link or I should just go to format? So the arrow should be begin end. Navigation visibility is none of this. Let's see, it's this. Yep, it's this one. This is navigation visibility because you have a triangle, it's filled, it's inheritance hierarchy. So this is one more, and this one is complete the following. So I have given you a scenario and I asked you to complete. It says if accounts receivable has any balance, if it's zero, register object asks drama class to add students with the ID specified to the class. And if that only happens if the balance is zero. Anybody remembers how we write the guard conditions on a sequence diagram? We talked about that first time we talked about sequence diagrams. Anybody remembers? So you put them in brackets and then you put the condition there. So if the balance is zero, you add the student with the student ID. So anything close to this will get you credit if you excuse me, see a question like this. This is going a few years back, so as you see the style is a little bit different. So I'm going to use the time we have, open one more exam and see if I can get a little bit closer, not that far. So spring 2017. I'm going to open exam 3 first, see if you can get anything new. Closing this one. Oh, closing the word closes the share. Opening again. Let it share the right page. I don't see it. There. This one. Let's see if I can challenge you with one more question before we leave for the weekend. Let's see, anything challenging. We've seen this already. This one is multiplicity, not on your exam. This one we've already talked about. This one you just saw. No. All right. How about this one? Is method 1 versus method 2 the exact same question appeared on another exam? So let's look at this closely again. No, I don't see a question that could challenge you. This one you already did. And the sequence diagram is not. So it seems that we've looked at so many of the examples that we don't find new ones. So just a recap of the plans for next week. On Tuesday, I will have a short lecture that's on solid principles. We look at some pictures and we compare, excuse me, design choices. And we looked at some of the older exams today that covers all possible topics that you see about sequence diagrams, class diagrams, and some of the key ideas, finding methods or formulating them. So you either find them on the diagrams I give you, or you come up with one yourself based on CRUD operations that are needed. Method 1 or method 2, I think also navigation visibility links, looking at the domain model class diagram or looking at the sequence diagram. So coming up with those navigation visibility links. Coming up, and I think that's all. Methods, visibility links, and method 1 and method 2 for data access layer objects. So variations of these questions, how you read the sequence diagram, you reflect information on the design class diagram or vice versa, are what we looked at today. I think there is only one missing piece here, and that's solid principles, looking at two options and saying which one is better, coming up with the reason. So you all did well. You are expected to work on the practice test because you're going to get 25 questions from that. Officially, as one of the questions was, chapter 13 is part of your exam. So the practice test should help you with terms and concepts that I haven't talked about that may appear on the exam as a question, but for the short answer parts that we just did together, you have done them before, so there is nothing that we haven't talked about in class. Multiple choice, when it comes to terms and definition, there may be things I haven't talked about. So go ahead, work on your practice test. Look at some of the older exams as we just did today. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Questions?
Is there any way you can put this lecture online?
The lecture, today?
Yeah, today's lecture. It's like a nice review.
So it wasn't a lecture. I was looking at a few older exams, and they're all in the folder. There is a zip folder on your exam tab. All of these exams are there already.
Right, I mean like by like your explanations and going through it like this.
Oh, the video. Okay, sure.
Yeah, the video, sorry.
Sure, I will do that.
Perfect, thank you. Where would it be under ReggieNet, by the way?
It would be here. And I'd probably make a note of it on the exam tab. So
okay.
Look for a link on the exam tab.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
So I realized that I still have to do my third meeting before the second exam. Is there any way I could schedule that, please?
Yes, let me open sometimes. Sure.
Okay.
And I think I may ask a lot of other students to do the same, meet me before the exam. Did I not give you the credit already for Zoom?
I think you might have, but I didn't know if it was like on accident or if it was fine that I got it already.
You stopped by somehow after a class or before a class, you talked to me.
Okay.
I think I was intending to give you credit, but it's really a good idea to meet me before your exam. So let's work on opening sometimes and look for an email in your inbox.
All right, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
All right, welcome. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
Thanks.